Okay, so I'm going to pick up and do UAV drone marketing and compensation and facilities in this video, just to give you some feedback and let you know. Again, I've picked the differentiation strategy. I've designed my product at 5.5 stars to make it the most distinctive product in the industry. And I also want to have the highest price in the industry. Go back to your industry overview and you can pick your price up from there. $1,125 was the average last year for a 4.5 star product. 1125 divided by 4.5. Whoops, I need to back up just a second there. 4.5 and multiply times 5.5 means my price on average should be $1,375. So I'm going to go to drone marketing and we can start out at $1,375 and see what happens. It's a problem when I do that because we're going to be losing quite a bit of money in some of our markets. The reason that that's not a good thing, and you can see the problem here, is last year the drones were selling for an average price of $1,075, 1,100 in 2 markets, 1,050 in 2 markets. And the value rating of the product went down. It was $1,075 for the average price for a 4-star product. In year 6, the average price only went up to $1,125, but the PQ rating went up to a 4.5 stars. So if I apply that same cost or same selling price per star, and I make a really expensive product, a differentiated product, it's much more expensive for me to make that product. And you can see the end result is that I'm going to be losing money. Now let me make the same adjustments that I did, and we'll see what happens as I do that. So I'm going to subtract $60 from this price. Again, I'm just taking the plus or minus the exchange rate adjustment. I'm going to subtract $21 from this price. That's giving me $1,354. I'm going to subtract $30 from this price, which is $1,345. And then I'm going to add 300 here, and that'd be $1,675. Okay, so as you see, now I'm losing money in all 4 markets, which is really not good. I need to check compensation and facilities. And part of the problem that I'm going to have is that I'm actually having stockouts. I can't sell enough product. Now, another thing that you need to consider is when we set that average price, when we looked at it and we set the average price, when I make my pricing adjustments, my average selling price may not be exactly where I want it to be. And certainly I may or may not be getting the premium. In North America, I lowered my price $12. In Europe, Africa, lowered it $5. Asia Pacific, I lowered it $6. Latin America, I raised it 70 some dollars, 80, $75, something like that. So I need to check and make sure that my prices are at the premium. So I'm going to just add up those prices and see what it looks like. 1315 plus 1354 plus 1345 plus 1675, and divide that by 4. Okay, that gives me a price of $1422.25, which is a $50, roughly a $50 premium over what I wanted to charge for my product. But it's still not enough of a premium because I'm losing money in every market. Now, I have really poured the coals to my marketing here. What I've done is I've increased my website displays and my search engine marketing. And I've done that really to exaggerate what we can do. I'm putting a tremendous amount of money into marketing. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm actually trying to relate my marketing to the demand that I have in this case. Now you can relate your marketing to the number of stores that you have. If you do that, right, we've got 53 stores in North America selling our product, and I'd spend 5.3 million. We've got 44 stores in Europe, Africa, and I'd spend 4.4 million. Got 38 stores, I'd spend 3.8 million. And we got 32 stores in Latin America. So when I do that, you'll see that that doesn't really solve my problem because now I'm losing money in all 4 markets. So first, let's go ahead and fix this issue How do I fix this issue? Remember, I'm running a differentiation strategy, which means I don't really want to expand my factory because I know that I'm going to have lower than average market share. So I'm going to, instead of expanding my factory, I'm going to raise my price. If I raise my price, that will constrain my demand. And in constraining my demand, I will have to manufacture fewer products. So I'm going to raise the price across the board $100, and then let's see what that looks like. Well, it says I still need 15 additional workstations. So I'm going to use another $100 price increase to see what happens there. Okay, now in Latin America, I'm really losing a lot of money. And what you'll see is my marketing cost in North America or in Latin America are really disproportionately high. I'm spending a tremendous amount of money there. So this number of stores is not working for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this unit demand and I'm going to spend basically based on unit demand. I want to spend $100 per unit on search engine advertising. I want to spend $100 per unit on website displays. The problem is here that I don't have enough. I'm spending about 200. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to spend 7,320,000. And notice how that increased my demand to 76,400. So if I increase, as I'm increasing my search engine advertising to match my total unit demand, the max that we can spend on website displays is 5 million. I'm going to match my number of units here. I've got 62,100 units, and I'm going to spend $100 per unit. That means it's 6,210,000. I gained a little bit of demand, so I'm going to spend more. Okay, and here I've got 35,800 units. So I'm going to go 3580. And here I'm going to go 3580. I shouldn't have changed that, y'all. I'm going to do 3580 here to see what happens. Okay, now my demand dropped just a little bit, but I'm just going to match it. Okay, 3550 to match the 35,500. And every time I change my spend, it drops just a little bit. The point I want you taking from this is I'm trying to be very intentional in my spend. I'm trying to tie it to something, and I'm trying to be very intentional such that I'm not spending too much. And I also want to kind of mitigate those losses that I'm having to happen to me in Latin America. Those losses are happening because of that exchange rate fluctuation. But the reality is that I'm losing a tremendous amount of my revenue on those products that I'm selling in Latin America. And that's a function of the exchange rate problem. Okay, since it's a function of the exchange rate problem, and I'm losing $305 on every one of those products, I've got to raise that price over here by $300 to offset my losses. Now, what I managed to do is I managed to kind of mitigate my losses a little bit in Latin America. I'm still losing some money. It largely is in delivery cost. My marketing spend is roughly equal across the board, but this delivery cost includes shipping and import duties, and there's nothing I can do about import duties right now. So I'm going to try to just kind of do the best that I possibly can and try to make it where I'm not losing too terribly much money as I sell my product over there. So notice every time I change my price, my sales are changing. Now, this is painting a pretty bleak picture for me, but if you guys do what you're supposed to do and adjust your price based on the exchange rate, you're going to have the same outcome. So while my numbers look pretty bad, what I'm doing is I'm actually trusting that you guys are going to do what you're supposed to do, which is you're going to raise your price in Latin America to offset the exchange rate adjustment. And if the entire market does that, then my outcome will not be nearly as bad. Okay. So I'm fairly comfortable with what I've done here. I don't like losing money in Asia and Latin America, but I've kind of equalized or stabilized my revenues. And I trust that if you guys do what you're supposed to do and raise that price in Latin America, we'll actually sell some product. In other words, my market share won't be as bad as I think it's going to be at 6%. Okay, so next I need to look at compensation and facilities. I've already made some changes here and I'll show you what I did. I'm keeping my base wage increase at 2% for both of my factories. Because I increased my warranty, I increased the warranty also on the drone to 180 days this year, and that matches my 180-day camera warranty. Because I've increased that warranty, I've increased the assembly quality incentive to $3.50 on the camera and $7 on the drone. Now, the reason it's twice as much on the drone is that I sell half as many drones. My workers here are only making half as many drones. I'm sorry, that's what I should have said. The workers here are only making half as many because the drone is much more complex than the camera. So I have to double that assembly quality incentive. Over here on the attendance bonus, I increased it another $50. And on the fringe benefits, I always want to pay the best in the industry fringe benefits. I increased my best practices and productivity training because if I put money into my human resource and get more productivity from my workers, that means I don't have to expand my factory. So putting money into my human resource helps me not have to put money into my capital resource. I also did the robotics upgrade last year, and you can really see where that's benefiting me. I'm saving about $1 million in my camera factory because of the robotics upgrade last year, and I'm saving $348,000 in my drone factory because of the robotics upgrade last year. Now I've got my product priced such that I've only got a need for 3 additional workstations in my camera factory and 2 additional workstations in my drone factory. So I'm going to save those, and I'm going to stop this video, and I will upload one last video that shows you about corporate citizenship and financing cash flow.